ಮೂಷಿಕ ವಾಹನ ಮೋದಕ ಹಸ್ತ ಚಾಮರ ಕರ್ಣ ವಿಲೋಬಿತ ಸೂತ್ರ ವಾಮನ ರೂಪ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರ ಪುತ್ರ ವಿಘ್ನ ವಿನಾಶಕ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಮೂಷಿಕ ವಾಗನ ಮೋದಕ ಕರಸ ಚಾಮರ ಕರ್ಣ ವಿಲಂಬಿತ ಸೂತ್ರ ಪಾವನ ರೂಪ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರ ಪುತ್ರ ವಿಘ್ನ ವಿನಾಯಕ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಪಾದ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ನಮಸ್ತೆ ನಮಸ್ತೆ
taka junno taka timme taka junno tak kadaka kadaka dum tak kadaka kadaka dum taka timme taka junno taka timme taka junno tak kadaka kadaka dum tak kadaka kadaka dum taka timme taka junno tak kadaka kadaka dum taka timme taka junno tak kadaka kadaka dum tak kadaka kadaka dum tak kadaka kadaka dum tarika dum tarika dum tarika dum tarika dum tak kadaka kadaka dum ta tak kadaka kadaka dum tai tak kadaka kadaka dum tak kadaka kadaka dum ta tak kadaka kadaka dum tai tak kadaka kadaka dum tak kadaka kadaka dum ta ta tak kadaka kadaka dum tai tai tak kadaka kadaka dum tam tam kitta takka chan ting kitta takka chan tam kitta takka chun ting kitta takka chun tang kitta takka chun kitta takka chun tang kitta takka chun ting kitta takka chun kitta takka chun ting kitta takka chun tang kitta takka chun ting kitta takka chun 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 tam.
Thank you very much for your mind-blowing performance. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would now like to call on the following dignitaries to grace us at the head table. We start again with our chief guest, Professor S. Sri Satguna Raja. We start again with our chief guest, Professor S. Sri Satguna Raja, Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna and General Chair of Jaffna University Research Conference 2022. Dr. S. Vasantaruba, Conference Chair, ICDA 2022, and the Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Jaffna. Keynote speaker, Emirates Professor Ogata Kashuo, Kyushu University, Japan. Dr. K. Bhagiradan, Convener, ICDA 2022. And finally, the Secretary ICDA 2022, Mrs. Abhirami Kirisan.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we are now joined by our dignitaries on the head table right now, on the stage, we can't wait to kickstart formally with this inauguration program, a one-day hybrid research conference in this fantastic forum. Although we welcome you all to this occasion, we have a very special person to formally welcome you all to this wonderful event this morning. It's my privilege to welcome the convener ICDA 2022, Dr. K. Bhagiradan, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I warmly welcome our chief guest and the general chair of the JOIS 2022, Professor Sivakolandu Sri Satnaraja, Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna, and the conference chair of the Faculty of Agriculture and ICDA 2022, Dr. S. Vasantaruba, and our keynote speaker, Emeritus Professor Ogata Kashuo from the Kashu University, Japan, former Vice Chancellors, Deans of Faculties, Professors, Librarian of the University of Jaffna, Deputy Directors, Directors, Additional Directors of the Agricultural Extension, Animal Husbandry, and Animal Production and Health, Heads of Departments, Senior Lecturers, Senior Assistant Librarian, and Registrar of the University and Deputy Registrar of the University Clinical Premises, and the Assistant Registrar at Faculty of Agriculture, Farm Manager, Assistant Farm Managers, and Academic Supporting Staff, Student Union, and my dear students. So welcome you all to the gathered here to glorify this occasion ICDA 2022, which has been organized with the theme of Emerging Appropriate Agro-Technologies Towards Food Sustainability as a satellite conference of JOIS 2022. It is my pleasure and to deliver welcome address as a convener of the ICDA 2022. It's a prestigious international conference, ICDA 2022. It's a remarkable event of the faculty calendar. So you all know, so there are several outstanding conferences being organized by these several academic institutions. The ICDA 2022 is very unique. It's because the research findings found by these scientists and the research scholars has been disseminated through these conferences. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know our country is facing severe economic losses and COVID pandemic also creating the food crisis all over the globe. I hope that this conference with this theme is very much suitable to the regional development and the national development to hop up with these food security issues. Our country is now also being economically dependent on the other countries. So appropriate agro technologies developed nationally would be helpful rather than importing the technologies from the foreign countries to save our foreign reserves. I hope that this conference could be a good platform to transfer these local findings as well as the international findings by several technical sessions organized in this today's event. I would like to acknowledge, because organizing an international conference is not an easy task. So many brains, many talents, many dedicated people and the human resource work together to achieve these tasks. So therefore, as the convener of the ICDA 2022, I acknowledge and appreciate who have worked us for these several months to organize this event in a wonderful way. Finally, the presence of our chief guest, the keynote speaker, and the support of this university administration in other hand is very important to organize this event very successfully. As other than that, the donors of this conference, as well as these reviewers and panel of review panels, session chairs, also going to contribute immensely to the successful event of ICDA 2022. With this, thank you very much for all. Thank you very much again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Dr. S. Vasandaruba, Conference Chair, ICDA 2022, and the Dean Faculty of Agriculture, University of Jaffna, to deliver the address of gathering. Sir, it's over to you.
Chief guest of the ICDA conference and our beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor Sri Satkuntraja, keynote speaker of the conference, Emeritus Professor Ogata Kazuo from Taishu University, Japan, convener Dr. Bahiradan, and Secretary Mrs. Abirami, and invited guest, especially our former Vice Chancellors and Deans, heads of other institutions like Department of Agriculture, Department of Agrarian, Animal Husbandry, and others, council members, deans of other faculties, heads of departments, professors, lecturers, students, and well-wishers. Good morning to you all. I am also extending my good morning to all the participants attending the conference via virtual mode, especially the chairpersons of different tracks, presenters from various local and international universities, our alumni members, and other well-wishers. First of all, on behalf of the Faculty of Agriculture, I warmly welcome you all to the 8th International Conference of Dry Zone Agriculture, organized by the Faculty of Agriculture under the spur of JUICE 2022. I would like to give some information about our faculty in my conference chair address. Our Faculty of Agriculture was inaugurated in Kilinochchi in 1990 with the aim of by the former Vice Chancellor Professor Thoraraja and the former Dean, late Professor Kandaya, and other members of the university community. The Kilinochchi was selected as a suitable location since it has high potential in terms of land and water for agriculture development, and also identified as the central place for all 5 districts of northern province of Sri Lanka, which comes under dry zone. Therefore, the Faculty of Agriculture was established in Kilinochchi with the aim of increasing the agriculture productivity in dry zone agriculture through research and training. But unfortunately, the faculty was relocated to Jaffna in 1996 due to the civil unrest in this region. Our faculty functioned with limited facilities in the main premises of University of Jaffna up to 2014. Then our faculty was re-established in Kilinochchi in 2015 during our Silver Jubilee year. Since then, our faculty started to develop faster with the establishment of good infrastructure facilities. Indian government gave us grants to build a nice auditorium, computer unit, library and sports complex. A world-class research and training complex, processing units and farming units were established under the JICA grant. At present, our student strength also increased from around 90 to 140 per batch. At present, we are also having one foreign student from Nepal also studying in our faculty. With these developed facilities, our faculty is planning to fulfill the dreams of our founder members by increasing the agriculture productivity in dry zone agriculture through research and training. In addition to our routine undergraduate teaching activities, we have already started some other activities like certificate courses such as vermi technology, mushroom technology, farm machinery, and micro irrigations relevant to the farming community and other interested persons. We are also conducting training for trainers program for government officers from various departments in topics such as climate smart agriculture, food security, organic farming, and compost making. Our faculty also conducting one-day training programs for school leavers and woman-headed family members in the relevant topics such as nursery management, natural flower arrangements and dry flower production techniques, organic farming, and other topics. Our faculty members also giving various consultant services to individual farmers and other farmer organizations relevant to the problems related to agriculture. Our staff also engage in community engagement projects such as analyzing the fauna and flora of Kanagarayan River, Chundikulam Bird Sanctuary, in collaboration with the other faculty of University of Jaffna and other organizations. We are also engaging our students in various community engagement projects such as reforestations, waste management, and home gardening during their study period. Faculty of Agriculture also encouraging our students to involve in practice-oriented research works during their final year research period. For this purpose, we are organizing discussion sessions between the final year students, farmers, and other relevant agro-based industries peoples before the commencement of their research work. This will help the student to identify the current problems faced by the farmers and industries and motivate the students to find the solution for those problems. Our staff and students developed various successful commercially viable products during the past 2 to 3 years. We have developed a health beneficial drinking yogurt, and it has been obtained by a local milk processing industry under the UBL agreement. A value-added super compost produced by local waste materials by our staff, also purchased by local planting company under the UBL agreement. Another company from southern Sri Lanka is planning to purchase the bioplastic packaging material produced by our staff using the waste products from Palmyra palm under the UBL agreement. These are some of the examples. In future, we can produce more environmental friendly, commercially viable agricultural products by using our resources. I am also happy to announce in this conference that our faculty received a JICA Technical Cooperation grant for a period of 5 years. The planning phase of this project is commenced on June 2022, and the implementation phase will be commenced from January 2023. The overall goal of this project is to produce qualified human resources for enhancing agricultural productivity and adaptability to climate changes in the dry zone agriculture. This project will help us to produce more qualified human resources via various short-term and long-term training to relevant officers by the Japanese expert. Professor Ogata is one of the long-term advisor who with us to do some of this training. Finally, we are conducting this international conference on dry zone agriculture annually from 2015 onwards. The theme of this year conference is Emerging Appropriate Agro-Technology Towards Food Sustainability. The keynote address and the presentation from different sessions will help us to get more wider knowledge about this theme. Lunch and refreshments are one of the important portion of conference and workshop. In this workshop, in this conference, we are planning to give some natural drinks like natural king coconut water to all the participants in place of artificial carbonated drinks. These products are not only beneficial to the health, but also provide some financial benefit to our local entrepreneurs who are involved in this business. Finally, I would like to thank all the members of the faculty and culinary premises who helped us in various ways to conduct this conference successfully. With this message, I would like to wind up my address. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very important and short message to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my privilege to welcome our chief guest, Professor S.R. Satyanaraja, Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna, and the General Chair of Jaffna University International Research Conference 2022 to deliver the chief guest address.
ஐயன் அளந்தபடி இரு நாளி கொண்டு அண்டமெல்லாம் உய்ய அரண் செய்யும் உன்னையும் போற்றி ஒருவர் தம்பால் செய்ய பசுந்தமிழ் பாமாலையும் கொண்டு சென்று பொய்யும் மெய்யும் இயம்ப வைத்தாய் இதுவோ உந்தன் திருவருளே. So this hymn says, glorify the Mother Earth or the Divine Mother, who has been looking after the entire living entities with the foremost and the important thing with the food security, with the gift of few grains, seeds from the Supreme Controller. That's what the hymn says. So ladies and gentlemen, I begin with the use. Today our Dean spoke about the King coconut drink. I recently heard when I was talking about the use of the coconut. So coconut is a blessing of the tropical countries. It's a very tall tree. So it bears fruit. That fruit falls somewhere in the sea, so then the waves comes and flood comes, and then the coconut goes into the water, then is float, but without soaking because the cover is laminated, no diffusion of water inside, so it float, then it reach another shore, then again pushed into the land, where it's again get the water and other utilities, then it get rooted again, another coconut comes. In that coconut we have this floating arrangement of fibers. In that coconut we have a very good arrangement of this husk. In that coconut there is a kernel that support the energy for energy regeneration, and that the coconut there is a juice. That's the essence. And my friend in the medical faculty said when I was talking about this story in his conference, this king coconut oil readily could be infused in the human beings. In a wartime scenario, when the medics come, and when there is no saline infusion devices, they simply cut the coconut and put it into the body by injured person, because they say the king coconut oil readily suit to our blood composition without any adulterations. So that's the juice, that's the essence of everything. So ladies and gentlemen, this university is a knowledge center. Entire universities in the world. We call it academic freedom because, like our keynote speaker, Professor, today decorating the high table, Okato Kosho, like all other people in ancient time, they migrate and go around and travel around where the monarchies were ruling, but they will go around and disseminating the knowledge. That's what the knowledge transpired. Even yesterday I checked the origin of agriculture. It's about 15,000 years old. This today they were mourning about the demise of Queen. So their people, their ancestors went all around the world and they got hold of the traditional food system and they brought those things to the Europe. That's what they say, even the origin of potato. It comes from Red Indian culture. And then it went to there. They couldn't even pronunciate the name, but they put the name as their name, as a French name, potato. And then now it's for us also it's come. So this academic freedom, because wherever you go, you find your good things for our support. That's what we call it existence. As human beings, we have a physical existence first. The physical existence, the food is important. That is the most important. This is throughout the history is supported. Then in the university, to support that system, I think the more relevant faculty, we have more than 12 faculties. We have engineering faculty. I am from a mathematics, so physical sciences, biological sciences. So when you come to physical sciences, what we do in Japan, Tokyo University, and what we do in the Cambridge University, what we do in Colombo, India, or IIT is same, because it's universal nature, fundamental science. Once in mathematics, it's same everywhere. Even maybe somebody doing in Moon or Mars may be doing the same thing, because it's a concept and geometries and algebras and all kind of things. But when you come to agriculture, the relevance. So today, this international conference on dry zone is very much focused on our region. Because we have a faculty here in Kilinochchi. The nearest faculty for agriculture for us is Rajaratha. It's in Anuradhapura. It's not even 100 kilometers from here. Why do we have two faculties side by side in the same region? Almost 100 kilometers. Because even the 100 kilometer difference, the soil changes. Our, pest changes. And our climate differs. So all kind of water irrigation system changes. So that's what we focus, because our regional autonomy and regional self-sufficiency very much depends on our research. So in the university, by definition, this is a creation of human being. So when you come to, I begin with the Mother Earth. The Mother Earth, there are two kinds of living entities. One is terrestrial, other one is aquatic. In aquatic, there are more living entities, but there are no universities, there are no schools, there are no kitchen technology, there is no food technology, but automatically survives. Everything readily available. Maybe the plankton support even the big fish. But when you come to this terrestrial thing, our main resource is the plants. That's the only one transform this blessing from the sun, God. We call it sun God. In the January, I think we will celebrate. Maybe we'll invite our JICA partners as well. Entire Asia, we celebrate this, the sun moving from two directions it moves when the planetary motion. As a mathematician, I know From January onwards, it moved towards north when the sun rises. So that day we call it Farmers' Day. And Farmers' Day we salute. Even in Europe, they conduct this harvesting day, Easter Day. I think in Japan also there is no difference. They will celebrate this harvest Farmers' Day because the most important thing, where we salute the plants and the sun, because the plants convert, the energy, primary energy resource for the entire Milky Way of this planetary system into food, where we want to get best out of it. So for that purpose, we had to endeavor, because we are not aquatic people. We are terrestrial, no ready-made thing for us. So we got to have the technology. Even the entire history of human beings, we are developing transport technology, supply chains, everything, fertilizers. So we want to have this preservation, post-harvest technology, and all kind of things we have to develop, because there is no ready-made thing for us. And also this planet is a marginal planet. There is no complete preservation. So all the time we encounter challenges. Now the big challenge we encounter is a global warming. And also the pests are getting modified. And now the viruses are coming, now only attacking the human beings. Tomorrow it will attack the plants also in some kind of pest. So it will be a challenge. So all the time we are developing a big laboratories. Even the Wuhan problem, when it came in 2019 November, almost our knowledge base was ready with the virology discipline. So we had a PCR. PCR I found is only developed in 2005 by a scientist. So if we imagine without PCR technology that only came in 2005, our situation in a corona pandemic. So we would have been pushing the people into the cemeteries, not to even test, not even able to recognize. So that's what these universities we created as a human beings only 1,000 years ago. Oldest university in Italy is the most theoretical one. It's the Ologoma one. Then the Oxford, Paris are 900 years. Then the Japan and Asia and all these people are engaging in. Now the university culture is everywhere. Tertiary education is a HEI, the highest education institute. What do we do there as a knowledge center? We impart knowledge. So that's what even our JICA in the second phase, in the 5 years project, they want to train the trainers in the super technology, we call it high technology. Because high technology is not very much available in our part of the region. So they want to have super laboratories done. So they want to give exposure to our people. So JICA doing their part to helping other beings, because human beings are the only being. Other beings, they look after themselves or their kids and they leave it, only work in the natural instincts. But the human beings, they sacrifice. One being sacrifice the entire life and support other one. That is the research means, because research is done with a lot of sacrifice. It's a big dharma. Dharma means support existence. So research is a big dharma because you do in a solitude place. While others are dancing and going around and traveling, the scientists sit down somewhere in the corner with a lot of failures, lot of trial and errors, lot of replications, go to field, because I know when I was doing the physics, one called Michelson-Morley, they were doing some experiment, want to detect whether this ether is there in the entire universe. Because there was a Huygens principle supporting about the light, they proposed a theory called ether theory. There's a medium in the entire universe, not vacuum. Then he wanted to detect that. Then for that purpose, he stayed in the mountain for 16 years. 16 years. And then he detected and found there is no such medium, evidence for that medium exists. Then that theory was dropped. Then the quantum theory came, Einstein theory came. So that's a lot of sacrifice made. Even, I used to tell in my class, even Sir Isaac Newton forgot to run a family while he was doing a wonderful revolution in the understanding of mechanics, which pave the way for the entire industrial revolution. So industrial revolution 1 took place in Britain. Now we are in the industrial revolution 4. Industrial revolution 4, all the people worked in the remote area in the computing technology, engineering, signal processing, electronic engineers, electrical engineers. These are all contributed to now is called AI. We are enjoying in our mobile phone. Even before any material come, I asked the Google to translate it. Even say, now I don't have a problem. We always have an issue when in our institute. If I got a letter from singular language, we shout, come on, what is this? How could I read? It's a violation. No, now the people are not shouting. They take the Google translator and put it, it gets translated. So Google solved one of the main problem in the country. It's a Google. When did Google started? Google was not exist before 1998. Before 1998, Google was not exist. Did not exist. Google did not exist before 1998. So how is contributed now? Now there is no life without Google. So this has become a part and parcel of like a food technology. So this is, that's what has happened. Sometimes we do things we don't know how it's going to take it. Simply we are merged into it. Similarly, I think today the presence of all these participants here, you may announce some result, you may think is not relevant. Like a PCR. When he was, I think I checked this story when I was doing the medical conference address. He found this idea while he was driving the car. It's not from the university, it's from the companies. They were inaugurating a company on the biotechnology. When did the biotechnology come? Even the Watson and Crick, when they were proposing the double helix structure for DNA, one is a mathematician, other one is a botanist. They were not industrialized. They didn't get the patentship. They simply let all the world know this double helix structure actually support this DNA, the protein structure. So there's a mathematical structure. So all those mathematics done for many, many hundred years, many, many thousand years helped us. They didn't get royalty. So after that only, entire genetic engineering come. Now the modified food have come. There are a lot of discussion going on. So most advanced countries are again leading. So in the university, we have 3 parts, even the research. There is a universal international community I had to contribute as a mathematician, as a professor. Then we had to contribute to our national community. As a researchers, there are general problems in national problems. Even today, economical problem, food shortage problem. Then we have a contribution in the research of a regional, very specific to our region. Even, the soil between across the road on the eastern side and western side are different. We have problem now in this RVLNR campus. But the other side, things are thriving. So 2 conditions are, 2 different ironies exist even in visible range. So ladies and gentlemen, as a knowledge center, we impart knowledge. So I congratulate this Faculty of Agriculture. I think it's 31 years old. Now it's a matured institution. 31 years old, no? So the growth normally terminates at 31. No more growth. I know. No more even creation. But we have to maintain it. That's what you put the title sustainability in your thing. Appropriate technology and sustainability. So we have to maintain this. 31 years old matured institution. I think 2,000 graduates nearly would have, passed out from this university. I think none of them are unemployed. They are all doing well. Even our AR and our dean and all these people, most of the head of the department, professors, our regional research workers, all come from this university. While we are having this, we don't understand this. My master used to say, the breath coming and going, he used to tell me is a blessing. Because the first thing they check when we born, the breath. If it didn't come, we would have been blue. The doctor would have been shaking us like this. The last thing they will check when we leaving the world is the breath. It's coming and going without any effort, with a sublime manner. We don't celebrate that. But he said, that's the thing, the only thing. We put all our energy, all our strength. There's a time will come to have one more of that. The time will come to have one more of that. Similarly, ladies and gentlemen, today our wonderful jester, our Menaka Fernando is here to chair a session from, I don't know which university, but they chair the session on agronomy. So I would like to thank them. And also Professor Anoma Chandrasekhara is here, and Professor Disa Ratnasera is here, and Professor Dharmasena is here, Professor Samara Head there. So this is a networking. Hearing from the wise, we become wise. There's no other way. Because assimilation of knowledge is a knowledge center. I want to stop it. I can't go like this. I am 40 years, I am being academic. So I have so much of inspirational things I heard from other resources. That's why I am speaking today. So in the assimilation of knowledge, the hearing is more important. That's what the conference, after doing all the research and discoveries, then we want to disseminate means we want to hear from other people about, and we want to congratulate them, we want to appreciate them. Because Einstein was also running around like a refugee, but he found this wonderful theory of relativity. Then he was announcing it. Then only few people understood it. But end of the day, they gave him a Nobel Prize and acceptance, and all this will encourage them. Similarly, the young people today, they did most of the work as a undergraduate project. And now our big people from different universities has come to share the session. So while they are sharing the session, you have Menaka Fernando, and Chandrasekhara, Ratnasera, and all these people, Dharmasena, Herath, they will guide them. They will maybe pick them as a research student. That's the way the research culture starts. So ladies and gentlemen, I really want to thank our Japanese counterpart. You know, they have been leading the world in a quietly, in a superb manner, in the technology, in the Hall of Fame of entire knowledge. Our Sony, Toyota, Honda is there. They have done wonderful things even last 70-80 years in the production. I don't think we can have any household without a Japanese gadget. Even the Rubabani, our television, sets, Panasonic, washing machine. Okay, nearest to Japan, our Korea. So these kind of people, you know, in a very remote, geographically volatile, you know, the structure or environment. So they have produced wonderful shipping, marine technologies, wonderful automobile technologies. I really read first, even after the Second World War and all kind of problem, first they concentrated on agriculture. Because the self-sufficient, the food is more important to go for other things. Now I went to Colombo last week. I was driving with the examination department vehicle. I saw Colombo as like a mini New York. Such a wonderful street, buildings, pathways, park, but no bread. They built the country massively, aggressively. Even I see in the Sydney, the big road is still like Edinburgh, Sydney, the normal roads, not very, you know, this carpeted everything. Now even the lane from agriculture, Araviana is carpeted. So we did everything, but without focusing on the more relevant and important area of agriculture. So ladies and gentlemen, today I want to really congratulate Vasanta Ruba and the head of departments and the young researchers and Pairadhan and our lady Abhirami, no? Yeah, Abhirami and their team. I know the conference is not easy. We inaugurated JUICE in the 2012. Now it's an umbrella setup, you know, like our King Coconut, the drink you are drinking. So essence of everything will be placed in front of you. I don't want to be between the keynote speaker and you. Our keynote speaker is a wonderful person, emeritus professor. He has come all the way and living in Colombo, sacrificing his life and all his commitment to the local community in Japan. JICA is a Japan International Corporate Agency. They really meticulous. I think Sivamani Madam knows while they're developing a project, they focus very meticulously, not giving grant and worry about the other things and go. So they really have their officers, the ladies here, like Aljedi, she has been here for last 12 years, and they are wonderfully helping us. So this is our opportunity, get best out of it. And I'm sure our Faculty of Agriculture, who have been gone through all the testing of the time, had the problem. So Mohanas, Rajadura sir, and Balasundaram, former Vice Chancellors, the veterans are here, witnessing the growth, and other supporters, well-wishers, our new farm manager, and all the ladies and gentlemen. I really pay all my obeisance to you. So the wonderful thing you are doing, our people. Like again I mentioned too, like the coming and the going of the breath, while it's running, no one pay attention. Only without that, when the critical situation come, they understand this. I think now the Sri Lanka is in a critical threshold situation to revisit entire agriculture, appropriate technologies and development, and to get our basic right. I think Professor Maramba, when he was with the president, he left the president task force when he was introducing the free fertilizer, artificial fertilizer cultivation. So intellectuals, they do like this. So your comments and your work will enlighten the generation forever. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity, and also pay my respect to all the visitors and who are glorifying the University of Jaffna in this difficult time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very interesting and valuable address to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, the next most awaiting item of the agenda is the publication of the proceedings of 8th International Conference on Dry Zone Agriculture 2022. For that, I would like to invite Conference Chair ICDA 2022, Dr. S. Vasantaruba, to issue the first copy of proceeding of ICDA 2022 to our chief guest, Professor S. Sri Satyanaraja. And our keynote speaker, Emeritus Professor Ogata Kashua, Heisei University, Japan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I humbly request our chief guest to stay on the stage to issue the copy of proceedings to our guest. First, I would like to invite Dr. K. Prabhakaran, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, to receive the copy of proceeding of ICDA 2022. Next, we would like to invite Professor S. Sivachandran, the Dean, Faculty of Technology, University of Jaffna, to receive the copy of proceeding. Followed by the librarian, Mr. K. Diswaran. We would like to invite Mr. Sivanation, Additional Director, Regional Agricultural Research and Development Center. We would like to invite Mr. Gauri Tilagan, Deputy Provincial Director, Animal Production and Health. Mr. S. Sadishwaran, Deputy Director, Agriculture, Seeds and Plants Center, Klenochi. Mrs. Jagadishwari, Deputy Director. Mr. Selva Kumar, Additional Director, Seed Certification Center. Mrs. Sugandhini Sendil Kumaran, Principal, School of Agriculture. Mr. B. Loganathan, General Manager, Palmyra Development Board. Mr. Kajaranchan, Veterinary Surgeon. Mr. Nishanga Prasad. Then Nishaka. Mishako Takayama. Thank you very much, our chief guest and our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, now the time for us to pay the attention to our keynote speaker. May I now request Professor G. Miguntan to introduce our keynote speaker, Emeritus Professor Ogato Kasho, Heisei University, Japan, to our esteemed audience.
You want to put it? You want to put it? No, வந்துருவாருல்ல.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to introduce a noble, able, and man with paradise. He has done a wonderful work in this world, working in ants. So I'm very proud to introduce the ant man. He did his career in his earth, and his publications and his remarks is wonderful to see. I'm really proud about the Emeritus Professor Ogata Casio. He is our keynote address today and is delivering his own career as well as is pleased to see him here through the JICA project. Born in 1956, he is about 66 years old, young man. And he worked in entomology. It's a specialization in entomology. Of course, taxonomy and ecology of ants. And now he is doing part-time work, of course. He's still publishing papers. And last year, he has a wonderful publication in ants itself. And he did his undergraduate program in agriculture in 1978 from the Kyushu University, and also did his Master of Science in Agriculture in 1980, and the doctoral degree in 1985 in the same university. And after finishing his PhD, he is very delighted to see that he joined the JICA in 1987 and started his career with the JICA. I see JICA and Ogata is a very cordial and a symbiotic relationship. He has been there for a long time, and finally he is now in Sri Lanka and with us. After joining with JICA, he did his postdoctoral degree at CSIRO, Australia, and did in 1990. Afterwards, he has joined the University of Kyushu as assistant professor. Then in 2003, become associate professor, and 2003, he is a professor of that university. Apart from that, he was a director in the Institute of Tropical Agriculture in the same university, senior vice president, executive advisor, chief advisor to the project of this project for research and education capacity improvement in dry zone agriculture at University of Jaffna, and we are blessed to have Professor Ogato with us. He has many remarks in his own career. He received a commemorative medal for cause of agriculture and rural development by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in Vietnam. So he visited Vietnam. He did research collaboratively, especially in Bangladesh, Myanmar, and all these tropical Asia countries. And his research interest still standing on taxonomy and biogeography of ants in tropical Asia, biodiversity of tropical and subtropical areas, higher agricultural education in Asian countries. That is the part of his career. Now he is with us, and especially Japanese ant color image database. He is partly working on that. So apart from being an entomologist, now he is a social person. With the social insects, he worked for his career, and now he is with us and blessing us. And the JICA, we have a blessing from them with the huge laboratory and the farm, and we are now activating in this lab, and Professor Ogata is here to help us and to activate further the research on the dry zone agriculture. I am indeed very happy to inviting him to deliver his keynote address. Professor Ogata, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Mikuntan, for the kind introduction. Professor Dr. Shibakorundo Suisadukulanaja, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jaffna, Dr. Shivalantum Pasantaruba, Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture and Conference Chair of the ICDA, University of Jaffna, Dr. Kandia Pakiratin, the convener of the ICDA 2022 UOJ, distinguished guest, colleague of the Faculty of Agriculture UOJ, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to have an opportunity to talk in the 80th ICDA. I'm Kazuo Ogata, the Chief Advisor in JICA project in UOJ, and the Professor Emeritus of the Kyushu University, Japan. We have started a technical cooperation project called PRESIDA UOJ in June 2022, but because of the situation, we Japanese teams are waiting in Colombo, but today we are very happy to be here. Now, the title of my talk is The Smart Agriculture in Japan, an overview of the trend. Oh, allow me to start the talk from my personal experience. This is a figure when I proposed a new project in Bangladesh to JICA. Well, you can see that depicting the image of rural development using ICT technology. Sorry, this is all in Japanese, but you can understand what we intend to do. The title of the project was Income Generation Project for Farmers Using ICT Technology. The term was not, there was no term of smart here because this was 2011. Okay. The project was conducted under the scheme of JICA grassroots project. The point was the implementation structure that is united body of university, NGOs for information technology concerned one, and agriculture concerned one. So this was my first experience of agricultural cooperation using ICT. I recognize that the ICT, the information technology, is useful tool, and it is really smart. Now, my talk today is divided into three. The first is smart agriculture in MAF. MAF means the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fishery in Japan, and smart food chain in JICA, JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, of course, and research and development and diffusions. Now, firstly, the smart agriculture in Japan. The application of advanced technology, including information science to the agriculture, is a global trend. For example, agtech is being promoted in United States, and smart agri in Netherlands, and smart farming 4.0 in Indonesia, and in Sri Lanka, what do you say? E-agriculture strategy or something like that. So you say Gobi Mituru in Sinhala or Urbar Toran in Tamil. That it was a plan in 2016 to 2020. But in the case of Japan, the movement to actively introduce advanced technology such as robotics, ICT into agriculture is known as smart agriculture. Here is a definition. A new type of agriculture that takes advanced technology such as robots, AI, IoT, and drones, and combine them with traditional agriculture technology developed in Japan. That means agricultural technology, multiple advanced technology. That's the meaning of smart agriculture in Japan. We also have some problems, of course. A textbook of geography of junior high school says that, oh, Japanese agriculture has some characteristics such as small scale, the farmers are part-time, and intensive agriculture, and conversion from rice to diversified crop, and organic farming. Those are the characteristics presently, but we have an issue such as low self-sufficient, like you, and competition with international products is very expensive, and aging farmers. So those are the problems. Well, smart agriculture is one of the solutions. The agricultural technology means expert skill corresponding to local characters, including climate, soils, the knowledge of that, and delicious breeds and blends with wide variety reflecting local characteristics, and safe and secure agriculture products. Those are the agricultural technology existing. But here, adding or multiplying advanced technology such as robot tractor, assistant suits, drones, we will realize the small agriculture. Maybe you can imagine the Japanese robot. Speaking of the robot, in 1970s, we introduced from United States. And in 1980s, Japan established the world's strongest manufacturing technology in home applications, automobiles, and semiconductors, and specialized machines such as machines, tools, and computerized and popularized as industrial robots. And industrial robots become commonplace. So why not in agriculture? Here's examples of robots in agriculture. Sorry, it's a little bit small, but you can see the cabbage harvesting robot, tomato harvesting robot, strawberry harvesting robot, blah, 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 so many robots. And look at the right corners, not just a robot, but powered suits also help for laborious work in agriculture. Those are the one of the examples. And another important factor is information science. This is the agricultural data collection system, so-called WAGRI. Though they have three functions, such as data collection, data sharing, data providing, gathering the data with the help of private companies, private groups, and government research organization. And we have our public data, such as weather, farmland, map, sensors, and those are, again, distributed to the farmers. But those movement has the origin. The prior to smart agriculture, we had a so-called precision agriculture. This is not just in the case of Japan, in the world base. Here's the definition of precision agriculture, a management strategy that gathers, processes, and analyzes temporal, spatial, and individual data and combines it with other information to support management decision according to estimate variety of improved resources, use efficiently, productivity, quality, profitability, and sustainability of agriculture production. Look at this figure. So even in the field, there's some differences of the soil pH, like that. So measuring those very precisely, then conducting more precise treatment for each part. Those are the concept of precision agriculture. That idea was started early in 1980s, and then early 1990s, the concept is so-called site-specific crop management, SSCM. This is the origin of precision agriculture. And you can have a look at 1990s, the precision agriculture is developed. But in 2000, that idea is changed to so-called smart agriculture using IT more effectively, more widely. In the case of Japan, 2009 study group of information science in agriculture established, and 2013 the study group of implementation of smart agriculture. This is the beginning of smart agriculture from the change of precision agriculture. The study group means it's just, the group of scientists, government persons, and they discuss freely, evaluate, and plan the futures. Those are the free group. Now, the smart agriculture is expected to have a positive impact in the coming society. One is the scale up of business. Agriculture is business. Using smartphones for automatic operation of advanced technology such as robot tractors and water management system, or from the succession expert farmers to young farmers using ICT technology to the succession of agriculture skills, and highly management agriculture we expected, using sensing data for accurate precision of growth and disease of crops, and so on. It's not just plan. We already started for 5 years. So the MAF is now evaluating our trials, so-called the project for on-farm demonstration trials on smart agriculture from 2019. Look at this. So many farmers or groups are joined this project. So far, as of April of 2022, 202 sites have trying the on-farm demonstration. Considering of paddy, upland farming, open field, greenhouse farming, flower farming, fruit farming, tea farming, livestock, blah, blah, blah. That sort of. And now, some results are coming. Here's the effect of smart agriculture. Look at the working hours in paddy fields. Conventional, the light colored bar is conventional area, and dark colored bar is introduced area. Look at the change of working hours. The large scale family based farming is changed from 11.1 hours per 10 hours to 10.7 hours per 10 hours. That means minus 3.6%, 3.6% reductions. And in the case of large-scale corporate style agriculture, the working hours also reduced to 6.5%. But look at that. The 3.5% and 6.5% is really good. It's something delicate. But look at the hilly and mountain areas. In that case, the working hour reduction is clear, so that the 24.8 to 18.2, that means 26.7% reductions. Now, those facts suggest that smart agriculture might not be superpower, but certainly we can use more effectively in it's depend on the areas. But anyway, so issues are coming. Sorry, this is so small word, but you can see that we still have so many issues. The generally saying, too expensive, and the visualization of skill is still poor. That's sort of. Now, the Japanese Society of Agriculture Informatics also gives some warning of smart agriculture 2019 that smart agriculture must not be overconfident. The second, smart agriculture does not guarantee economic viability. And three, the smart agriculture has issues to be improved both in farmer side and government side. Now, but still, we promoting the smart agriculture because this is only the solution of the issues. So we improved the smart agriculture continuously. And on the other hand, another movement is coming, so-called agricultural digital transformation concept. DX means digital transformations. Digital transformation is coming in every field, but in the case of agriculture and food industries, utilizing digital technology to implement highly efficient farming and realizing a transformation to agriculture that captures blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the point is that the digital agriculture is more, say, information science oriented. And here are the 6 basic directions, like in line with government policy, ideas based on use of digital technology, innovation brought about by new connections through consideration of consumers and users. Of this point is important, not just for farmers. The DX is considering consumers and users. So this is a little bit more comprehensive comparing with smart agriculture. And finally, we are facing the difficulties still of COVID-19 pandemic. And issues revealed by this pandemic is that first, Japan as a whole, digitalization is ongoing, but still slow, probably slower than your countries. Second, the economy is fragmentation of traditional connections. The connections is important, but now becoming fragmented. And three, the society is vulnerability to uncertainty. And four, the government in efficiency in administrative management. And five, infrastructure, securing social infrastructure in digital age. So the smart agriculture and digital transformation should be promoted because of those pandemic implementations. Now that's the story of smart agriculture in Japan. And the second point is smart food chain in JICA. This is also the same conception as smart, but this case, they emphasize the chain, food chain. That means starting from breeding, production, processing, distribution, and consumptions. Here's some technology. Sorry, it's a little bit small word, but say, for example, in the breeding, there is a technique of genome breeding, genome editing, real-time measuring of biological information, and so on. And productions is also includes crop production technology, autopilot robot, tractor, something like that. So those also covers the smart agriculture in Japan. But in the case of the development world, the JICA identified 12 major issues in FVC, food value chain, such as no variety that meets the needs, difficulty in securing quality and access to agricultural input, blah, 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 12 points. It's depends on the country, but it's also distributed in the flow of value chain. Here's a mapping of major issues in value chain. Say, for example, the breeding problem is located in input 01. So JICA also thinking about, in general, needs and introducing technology mapping. If you can see the scale of farmers in vertical and profitability of crop in horizontal, so there are those kind of areas are identified, such as areas of higher needs of effective policy making. This area is no more the help of smart farming technology, but this area, I mean, large farmers and whatever the profitability of crops, the inputs such as crop varieties or new technology should be very effective. That's the area easy to introducing smart food chain related technology and packages. And beside the JICA, of course, many other donors and international organizations also having some policies of new technology, such as World Bank, say, for example, digital infrastructures, digital financial services, digital entrepreneurships, e-commerce. FAO also, they have two points, a policy addressed on digitalization of agriculture, have for dissemination of information and knowledge related to digitalization of agriculture. Now, the world is coming in digital. Finally, I'd like to say something about research and development and diffusions. As you know, development process of an innovation is very complicated. The diffusion of innovation doesn't occur simply as a reaction of new informations. This is the classical steps from needs or objective to consequences. And as you can see, the new innovation will be adopted by the so-called the case of innovative adaptation curve. And if the trade-off zone, takeoff zone, so-called critical mass coming earlier, then the diffusion comes very quickly. So the innovation has 5 major elements to have a quick diffusions. First is relative advantage, second is compatibility, third is complexity, and fourth is observability, and fifth is triabilities. So most of the person here has smartphones, no? So the smartphone has the characteristics of those 5 points. That is why the smartphone adopted very quickly. But still, it is also said that there are some potential pitfalls. The first pitfall is so-called the devil's river. It's located between basic research to the discovery of innovative materials. And second pitfall is so-called ballet of this that lies between production technology development and industrial scale production technology established. And thirdly, so-called Darwinian Sea is the variable business established. Only fitness survived. So-called, this is Darwinian Sea. Well, in the case of university, we are not so much concerned about ballet of this, but Darwinian Sea. But if we collaborate with some private sector, we should think about those pitfalls. And finally, I would like to say something about role of universities. So these kind of research and development sometimes coming from universities. This is a case of my colleague, so-called Professor Okayas. He is a professor of our Kyushu University Faculty of Agriculture. You can see the right corner is our campus. And there are so many students and colleagues of their laboratory. And here's look at his laboratory, agricultural machinery and production system designs. This is the example of university laboratory. So very big electric parts box. I was very surprised at. And other developed developed tools such as CNC cutting machine, 3D printers. So he and his students making the electronic device very freely and making so-called UECS, ubiquitous environment control systems, very freely. And you can see the fabrication workshop. So the students work do like this. And one of his proud is that the greenhouse. Because he has a collaboration with private sectors, so he also got so big fund. He established this kind of greenhouse, like motor unit, RGB camera, radar unit, sensors, cameras for. So using those tools, his research is sensing the plant. Collected the data can visualize growth and yield, and growth and features values are obtained by a deep convolution neural network diagrams. So this is a case of strawberry, but not just sensing. He used the AI, learning neural network algorithms. And also, he make a system of decision making. The growth status of fruit size and ripening can be visualized. So this is the decision making system. And this sort of science is called phenotyping. Probably you know genotyping, but recently the term phenotyping is becoming very popular. Look at this. Here's a bibliographic matrix coming from the database Scopus. The term plant phenotyping is increasing very rapidly from the year 2007. Comparing with other terms such as genomics, precision agriculture, proteomics. So the change is quite apparent that phenotyping is coming very quickly for these, say, just 10 years. Now, finally, this is a case of the Netherlands. Do you know the top university of the field of agriculture in the world? Wageningen University is world-leading university in the field of agriculture because they have a very close connection with government. Rather, the government, the university and National Agricultural Research Institute have merged, actually. So they have very nice equipment called Unifarm. Look at the glass house, inside the glass house. There are so many experiments, very big, well-controlled glass house. Now one of my surprise is that, look at the lower right corners. Here's many plates. All these plates express the name of the company. So they got a fund from the company, not a government. And that is why the Netherlands is now becoming very strong country of agriculture. This is one of the examples. So that's all for my presentations. So we have looked at the overview of the smart agriculture. To summarize my talk, smart agriculture and smart food chain in Japan is government-led movement, but local government agencies, private companies, universities, and research institutions also play an important role. And for the R&D and diffusions, we cannot count on government alone. Universities are places where innovation is generated and where leading human resources are incubated. Research and education, the core role of university, will be increasingly required by the society in the movement of smart age. Looking back my graduate study student days, we used to set up spontaneous study groups to learn more about new theories or specific issues. This took the form of students, graduate students, and young faculty members taking the lead in introducing a certain textbook or articles and engaging in free discussions. It was not a credit-given class and was set up on Saturday or Sunday in the evening at 7 o'clock, etc., regardless of availability of the professors. Sometimes these units transcend the boundaries of the single university and come together around a common interest, becoming the body of joint research. Such a movement maybe generate innovations. I recommend the voluntary occurrence of study group on various topics with free talk may contribute the progress of research. In closing, I would like to express my appreciation to the organizing committee members and staff and supporting staff of ICDA, Faculty of Agriculture, University of Jaffna, for their kind cooperation and help. I hope we can work together, not in Cologne, but in Kilinochi in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your timely needed and inspiring address to this conference. And it's much value to us, your presence here. Therefore, to present a token of appreciation on behalf of the ICDA team, is now my pleasure to invite our chief guest, Professor Esri Satgunaraja, General Chair of JUICE 2022 and our Vice Chancellor of University of Jaffna, to please present a token of appreciation to our valued keynote speaker. Thank you very much. The next item of the agenda is the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a warm and grace morning to you all. The organizing committee of ICDA 2022 is proud to host 8th International Conference on Dry Zone Agriculture successfully under the sphere of Jaffna University Research Conference 2022. As the secretary of the organizing committee, it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the committee of ICDA 2022 for everyone who really worked hard towards the success of this event. First and foremost, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor Sri Satyanaraja, the General Chair of JUICE 2022, and our Vice Chancellor, University of Jaffna, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion with his presence and giving the permission to organize this conference. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee of ICDA 2022, we are delighted to extend a hearty word of thanks to our keynote speaker, Emeritus Professor Ogato Kasho, Haishu University, Japan, for accepting our invitation to be the keynote speaker of the conference. We all are inspired by your great presentation, sir. Thank you very much. We express our sincere gratitude to our chairpersons of the technical sessions, Professor Disna Ratnasegara, Dr. Mrs. Menaga Fernando, Professor Saman Herath, Professor D.A.N. Dharmashena, Professor Anoma Chandrasegara, Professor Navanida Krishnan, Professor Ajit Jayavira, Dr. A. Saravanabavan for accepting our request to chair the technical sessions. On behalf of the organizing committee of ICDA 2022, I convey my deepest sense of appreciation and also extend a sincere thanks to all the reviewers for allocating their precious time to review the papers and giving the constructive feedback to the authors, which improve the quality of papers presented in the conference. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheel starts rolling months ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details to organize the event successfully. We have been very fortunate enough to be supported by a team of very proactive and dedicated colleagues of our faculty. Here, a special mention to our respected Dean, Dr. S. Vasandaruba, heads of departments, assistant registrar, academic staff, engineer works, administrative staff, and academic supportive staff of our faculty for standing as pillars of strength. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank all of you for your untiring efforts in making this event a successful one. I express my gratitude to Deputy Registrar and the administrative staff of Kilinochchi premises for providing necessary logistic support in organizing this event fruitfully. I am immensely thankful to all the presenters, authors, and participants who participate to this conference virtually and physically. Without your valuable contribution, we would not have been organizing this event productively. I'm also very much thankful to Professor S. Sivachandran, staff of Department of Agronomy and the Dean Faculty of Technology, University of Jaffna, and staff of Faculty of Agriculture for making this venue as charming and eye-catching. I sincerely thank to the instructors and the other supportive staff of Computer Unit, Faculty of Agriculture, and the VC Media team, University of Jaffna. Without their support, the virtual conference have not been possible. At last but not least, a big thank you to all the invitees who accepted our invitations and gracing these occasions today. We expect your active participation in the next year as well. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our sincere thanks to each and everyone who worked behind the scene to make this event happen successfully. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will call the photo session. To the chief guest, keynote speaker, delegates, deans, as well as the participants are welcome to take a position.